What is up, guys? It's your boy Talladega on the mic here, and today I have finally figured out my final NCAA March Madness predictions. So the tournament starts tomorrow, and I am here to give you guys my final predictions on the tournament. So without any further ado, I'm just going to jump right in to Gonzaga versus Georgia State. I think Georgia State's going to honestly knock off Psych. I think Gonzaga's going to easily take care of Georgia State. Boise State versus Memphis. I've watched a lot of Boise, a solid amount of Memphis. I really like Boise State in this matchup. I think Boise State is just... they're a team that's built to go far, just sucks they have to play Gonzaga next round. So I'm going to take Boise State in this game. UConn versus New Mexico State. I don't think New Mexico State really has a shot now that I think about it. I'm going to take UConn. Arkansas versus Vermont. I feel like Vermont puts up a very solid fight. I really do. But sadly, I'm going to have to take the Razorbacks in this one. Alabama versus Rutgers or Notre Dame. So here's the thing. Alabama, if they're not hitting their three-point shots, no shot they're not that good of a team when they're not hitting their three-point shots, or there's no resemblance of an offense. But Rutgers and Notre Dame are mid at best. So, I'm going to take Alabama. Texas Tech or Montana State. So, I'm going to take Montana State in this one. I don't like Texas Tech. I'm joking. Michigan State versus Davidson. This might be a bias thing. I'm 100% taking MSU. Duke versus Cal State Fullerton. Baylor versus Norfolk State. I go back and forth on this. In all seriousness, I go back and forth on this one. Baylor's injured. They're injured bad. Norfolk State, they're not a bad team. I think Norfolk State 100% covers. I really do. The 21-point spread. But I'm going to take Baylor in this one. North Carolina versus Marquette. I'm a huge Marquette fan this year. Love that program this year. North Carolina, I say is a mid-tier team. I feel like Duke, any other night, kills North Carolina. North Carolina got killed to Virginia Tech. They're just North Carolina's mid. Marquette wins this game. St. Mary's, Indiana. St. Mary's, they're a veteran-led team. Indiana, they're a solid, really good team. I'm going to take St. Mary's. Texas or Virginia Tech. Yes, I skipped over that UCLA Akron game for a good reason. Texas versus Virginia Tech. I'm going to take Virginia Tech. I'm really high on Virginia Tech this year. A lot higher on them than I am Texas. Don't know what it is. I really like Virginia Tech's team this year. Purdue versus Yale. So here's the thing. I'm just joking. I'm taking Purdue. Murray State versus San Francisco. I think I'm taking Murray State. San Francisco, they're a solid option, but I think Murray State is just too good. I don't think they're going to lose to San Francisco. Kentucky easily wins that game. On to the South. Arizona versus Wright State. Wright State's going to get annihilated. Seton Hall versus TCU. Here's another one. That's going to be a very close game. But I'm more high on TCU. I think they have a better... I think they're pretty even team-wise. But I think TCU just... I don't know what it is. It's kind of just like a pick 'em. And I picked TCU. Houston versus UAB. I'm not going to lie. At the beginning of the year, I was high on Houston. I was very high on Houston. They're injured, though. They're a lot bigger than UAB. But I'm still going to take UAB. I think this team has potential to go solidly far this year. So I'm going to take UAB. Illinois versus Chattanooga. Here is an upset alert, in my opinion. I think Illinois wins, but it's going to be a lot closer than they would hope. A lot closer. Colorado State, Michigan. So I think Colorado State's a better team. I really do. But I think Michigan has more experience in this type of game, which is why I'm going to take the Michigan Wolverines. Tennessee versus Longwood. I'm taking Tennessee. Ohio State versus Loyola Chicago. In my personal opinion, this Loyola team's playing the best basketball of their entire season. I think Ohio State peaked too early. They're injured right now. I think this game's a recipe for disaster for Ohio State. Loyola Chicago wins that game. Villanova versus Delaware. I'll take Villanova. Kansas versus Texas Southern. I'll easily take Kansas. San Diego State versus Creighton. This game, whoever hits 51st is going to win this game. And I think San Diego State, I might have the Mountain West bias, but I have San Diego State winning this game. Iowa versus Richmond, I'm easily taking Iowa. Providence versus South Dakota State, the luckiest team in college basketball, versus South Dakota State. I don't know why I was saying San Diego State. I actually have South Dakota State winning this game. I think Providence's luck has caught up to them. And I think South Dakota State's a solid basketball team. I'm going to take South Dakota State. This one, I keep going back and forth almost every hour throughout every day the last couple of days. LSU, they lost their coach. But what if it motivates them? What if it motivates them to go on a run? But you could also look at it. They lost their coach. They're going to be lost. And do they even care about this tournament at this point? Well, you know what? I've come to the determination. LSU cares about this tournament. They're going to prove all the haters wrong and knock off Iowa State. Wisconsin versus Colgate. I feel like this is going to be a lot closer than anyone thinks. I think it's going to be a lot closer than Wisconsin would hope. But I give Wisconsin the slight edge. USC versus Miami. This is kind of just a pick 'em. Some people like Miami, some people like USC. USC used to be my favorite college, so I don't know, dude. Guys, this one's just a pick 'em. This is the game I'm honestly most worried about of not getting correct. I'm going to take Miami just because I've seen more Miami this year. They're mid, but USC's also mid. I'm going to take easily Auburn. But yeah, so both teams are mid. All right, the round of 32. I think Gonzaga. Boise State, I feel like makes this a lot closer than anyone thinks. I think it's going to be a little too close for comfort for Gonzaga. I think Boise State's going to give them a run for their money. UConn versus Arkansas. I'm going to take Arkansas. Not a big fan of UConn this year. Alabama, Texas Tech. I'm going to take Texas Tech. I don't think Tom Izzo knocks out Duke. I really don't, so I'm going to take Duke in that one. Baylor versus Marquette. I want Marquette to win this game so bad, I really do. I just don't think they're the team to do it. I think Baylor they barely get past Marquette. St. Mary's versus UCLA. I have UCLA winning this game. Every day that passes, I get higher and higher on this UCLA team. I don't know what it is. I've been looking into them a little more. A lot of their season was up in the air anyways. I'm really liking this UCLA squad. So I have UCLA beating St. Mary's. Virginia Tech versus Purdue. I think Virginia Tech's way too hot right now. But I think Purdue is just... Damn. I hate to do this. I think Purdue will win this game. Murray State versus Kentucky. This one's another tough one. I'm going to take Kentucky. I think it's going to be a little too close for comfort for Kentucky. But yeah, I'm going to take Kentucky. Arizona versus TCU. I think Arizona wins this game. UAB versus Illinois. I think UAB knocks off Illinois. I don't think Illinois is a great basketball team. I think they're mid. I think UAB is just a little above mid. So I'm going to take UAB. Michigan, Tennessee. I'm going to take Tennessee. Loyola Chicago versus Villanova. I'm actually going to take Loyola Chicago here. I think Villanova, I've said this about a couple of teams, but I think they're mid. Loyola Chicago, they're pretty solid. They're playing the best basketball their entire season. So I'm going to take Loyola in that game. Kansas versus San Diego State. I think San Diego State makes this really close, but Kansas ends up prevailing. Iowa versus South Dakota State. I have Iowa. LSU, Wisconsin. I'm going to take Wisconsin, but Wisconsin just got dealt an easy hand for their first two games. They really did. Miami versus Auburn. I take Auburn. Gonzaga versus Arkansas. I'm going to take Gonzaga just because, yeah. Texas Tech versus Duke. I feel like this is an overtime game. I really do. I feel like this could be in low-key contention for the game of the tournament. But I'm going to take Duke just because I'm going to give the experience of Coach K. And it's his last ride, so the rest will probably rig it for him. Baylor versus UCLA. This is where I have Baylor falling. Again, every day that goes on, I have UCLA just going higher and higher in my rankings. So I'm going to have UCLA win this game. Purdue, Kentucky. This, like the Duke-Texas Tech game, is going to be a phenomenal game to watch. I hope it's Virginia Tech. I really do. But I'm going to have to take Kentucky. I'm going to have to take Kentucky. I think they're just an all-around better team. Arizona versus UAB. As much as I would love to say UAB wins this game, I can't. I just can't. I think they give. I think it's a very close. No, I can't even say it's a close game. I think they lose by less than 10. I think they lose from like 8 or 9. I think UAB loses by 8 or 9. Arizona wins this game. Tennessee versus Loyola Chicago. This is going to be like this. There's a lot of good games that are going to be set up for the Sweet 16. I think Loyola Chicago wins this game. I really do. No, I gotta go Tennessee. This Tennessee team is built for a championship. I think this is a possible overtime game. I really do. I hope this comes down to like a buzzer beater. I really do. But I think Tennessee, I'm gonna give them the slight edge in this one. Kansas versus Iowa. I'm actually going Iowa. I really am. Yeah, I'm gonna go Iowa. I think Iowa's the hottest team in college basketball right now. And yeah, I just gotta take Kansas is, in my opinion, high tier. They are. But Iowa right now is S tier for me. So I'm gonna take Iowa. Wisconsin, Auburn. Both these teams are mid. But I think Wisconsin is at a bigger peak right now. So I'm gonna take Wisconsin. The Elite Eight. Gonzaga versus Duke. I think Coach K's run comes to an end, and they lose to Gonzaga. I heard this from, I think it was, I can't remember who I heard this from. It's almost like a passing of the torch. Coach K is gonna hand the torch off to the new evil empire of college basketball, Gonzaga. UCLA versus Kentucky. I have actually UCLA winning this game. I feel like they get back to the Final Four, and yeah, I think UCLA it's going to be a rough ride for them. They've got to beat St. Mary's, Baylor, and Kentucky to get to the Final Four. But I think this team is built good enough to do it. So I'm going to take UCLA. Arizona versus Tennessee. I'm going to take Arizona. No, I'm taking Tennessee. I go back and forth on this one too. I think Tennessee is built for the Final Four. I really do. Arizona, I haven't officially bought into the hype. I really haven't. Arizona could easily win this game by 10. I just haven't bought into the hype. I'm going to take Tennessee. Iowa versus Wisconsin. I'm going to take Iowa. Wisconsin's mid. Iowa's S. So, the Final Four. Gonzaga versus UCLA. The rematch. A year in the making. I'm going to take UCLA. I think UCLA has grown enough from that experience, and I think they're going to want this game a lot more than Gonzaga's going to want this game. I think Gonzaga comes back next year, and that's their year to win the championship. I'm going to take UCLA in this one. Tennessee versus Iowa. Sadly, this is where I have Iowa's run come to an end. I got to take Tennessee. I think Tennessee, they look fantastic. They're a heavily underseeded team. So yeah, Tennessee wins this game. The national championship. Tennessee versus UCLA. So, you could look at this a couple of ways. One, this is Tennessee's year. This team is fantastic, but I look at it. UCLA brought back their entire team. Their entire team just for this run from last year. They were one shot away from knocking off Gonzaga, the runner-ups. Why isn't this their year if they beat Gonzaga? I think UCLA takes this championship, and I think the score is like 78 to 72, something like that. And I have UCLA winning March Madness. I don't know what it is. I just like UCLA this tournament. Anyways, guys, if you want more content like this, I will be posting content throughout the entirety of March Madness. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. And anyways, guys, this is Talladega signing out. Laters.